Hello guys, Charles here and welcome back to my channel. So one of the most common questions that starting students ask, and I see this asked a lot on the internet as well, in various different ways, coming at the same question from different angles, but the basic point is, do I need to learn music theory? Now, I've talked a lot on this channel about my own journey and how I really focused a lot early on in music theory and how I don't necessarily think that that is the best way to tackle it, which I'll get to in a moment. However, the long story short, to give the most blunt answer possible, if you are thinking about this question, if you are asking this question, then yes, you need to learn some music theory. Personally, I think that the questioning side of this comes from the fact that we hear about these legendary players who supposedly know absolutely no theory whatsoever, and yet they're able to play fantastically complex music. And that doesn't seem to add up to us. I don't think that those players actually exist. I don't think there is anyone out there who knows no theory and yet does something fantastic. But let's say there were, those people would not be spending their time asking about whether they need to learn theory or not. They're just there being amazing. They're just being fantastic. So if you feel you are that person, then no, don't learn any theory. Please don't learn any theory. Don't waste your time with it. Just be amazing, be a fantastic player, and that's more than good enough. However, for the rest of us, we do need to put some language onto concepts that we're going to be using frequently. That's all theory really should be. My issue with theory, from my own experience, was I kind of think it got to a harmful level, where I was spending more time studying and reading and learning about music than I was actually playing it and putting the things that I knew into practice. Once that clicked for me, once I realised that that was my issue, I was then able to weed out a lot of this kind of excessive theory. And I realised that most of the theory that I knew, personally I took it to diploma and degree level, I went quite far with it, I hardly ever use any of that. I realised that a lot of it was just filler, really. It was interesting and I enjoyed it, but it was really just filler. So if you are asking this question, should I learn music theory, then the answer is, of course, yes. However, don't worry, it's not a difficult subject. It can seem inaccessible at first, but it is not a difficult subject. Find yourself a good local teacher or someone online who can help you to understand it in an easy way. If it is complicated, there are either one of two issues. You're not being explained it very clearly by whoever's talking to you. Not necessarily a bad teacher, but just the way they explain it doesn't work for you, so you might need to find someone else. Or the second thing is you're not putting enough time in out of the session. So you do need to really put in regular, you need to revisit these topics and concepts frequently and try and applying them to your instrument as well. Try using them. And in doing that, you're kind of tackling the problem from multiple angles. Once you've got definitely your major scale theory, your major chord scales, understanding the building blocks of the chords from the major scale, I'd then recommend that you really focus on getting a strong understanding of rhythm. Not a difficult topic in terms of complexity. There's not actually a huge amount in the subject of rhythm. However, to get really confident with it takes quite a long time. It's not that these things are difficult. It's not that music theory is scary or hard. It's just that you need to constantly be revisiting these things. And I think a lot of people maybe dip into a theory book or watch a few theory videos on YouTube here and there, don't immediately get it and then think, oh, theory's not for me, I'll just play some other way. So in summary, if you're the sort of person who's watching a video like this, do I need to know music theory? Then yes, you do need to learn some music theory, but nowhere near as much as you probably think you need to. There are tomes and tomes of theory books out there. You do not need to know all that stuff. If you're interested in it, then learn it. It's fascinating. It's like maths, the way it all connects together. It's absolutely amazing. But if you're not someone who finds that particularly interesting, you just want the basics, get your major scale and your major chord scale really well learned, and then start to focus on rhythms, and you'll be amazed at how any new theories you encounter can be explained through the lens of either that rhythmic lens or the major scale lens, and that's really why it's so important. And then the final thing that I would say is really important is learning by ear as well. Theories are part of your musical language, it's part of your musical skills, and an equally important part, which we can often leave behind, is our ear training. So making sure that we are figuring this stuff out not only from an academic perspective, but by listening to songs and figuring out exactly what that is and learning to hear these concepts. In doing that, in having them as a sound in your head versus text on a page, you are already at the end result. The end result is we're trying to get to sound here, we're trying to get to music here. So if you can come at it from that angle, hearing it and understanding it, and you can come from a theory angle, reading about it or watching videos about it and understanding it, and then you put all of that on your instrument. I think that's really the best way to go about this. If you'd like to know a little bit more about exactly what to focus on, then check out this video up here called 80-20 Theory, where I kind of discussed this topic in a slightly different way, but I went into the exact topics that I think are some of the best bang for your buck topics. So what are your thoughts? Let me know down below in the comments whether you think music theory is important or not, whether it's difficult, whether it's a topic that needs hours and hours and hours of work, or if it's just something that you can learn as you go along. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Please do give this video a like, subscribe, do that notification bell, and share with any of your friends who might need a little music theory nudge. And as always, I hope you're all doing very well, getting plenty of practice in, and I very much look forward to seeing you in the next one. Cheers.
Roll up, let me embed a story you'll never forget. A drip, drip, you're drowning in debt now. You can't buy your way out.